Optc's 9th anniversary is here on the 12th of May, so in about a week's time. In celebration of this anniversary, Optc has released a super exclusive medal exchange containing 20 legends that you can decide who you want to purchase. So there's a ton of new characters here. I'll be going through all of them in this video, deciding whether or not you should be buying them. I'll go into detail about what they do and how good they are in the current meta of One Piece Treasure Cruise, and then we can rank them based on how expensive they are in the medal exchange. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, starting off with the highest medal tier category, being the 600 medal tier characters. So here we have Sasaki and Kid, super tandem for both of them. Sasaki is a very mid-legend, I must say. So Sasaki is going to be a pretty decent character to use as a sub, because he's going to provide you a strength, dex, and quick 2.5x attack boost, which is quite a nice buff. And then he also is going to give you a base attack boost for those types. So he's very good offensively. He doesn't have utility much. He has a damage reduction, which is, I guess, some sort of utility, since you can use that to tank death hits. But besides that, he really doesn't do much for the team. And as a captain, he's pretty bad. When you use him as a captain, you require your team to contain a strength, dex, and quick unit, and you also can't be running any psi or int characters. So he's a very specific captain, so I wouldn't say for 600 medals it's a very bad choice to buy this character. But at the same time, if you do have the medals and this is one of the only characters you've been missing, then it's not a terrible choice. He definitely does have uses. He's not a completely useless character, so I'll leave him in the meh choice category. As for Kid, this character has been around for a lot longer than Sasaki. Last month we got Super Tandem Law, which is definitely a much better choice and a more valuable legend than Kid. Honestly, if you didn't have Law last month, I would have said that he's a must-buy character, even though his 600 medals is quite steep. For Kid though, he's a very good legend still. He's a -3 cooldown captain, meaning he's an excellent speed farming captain. He has a very good class and type combination. He's a very good captain. He also has a very versatile special with a very unique chain buff that not a lot of characters provide in their specials. And then he also is going to give you an attack boost or an all boost, so he's a very flexible character, very strong boosts, overall a very strong unit, and obviously has his super tandem, so very nice character. But he's definitely not required in content. He's just a very nice character to have. I definitely think he's more worth it to buy than Sasaki there, so I'll just keep him here in the decent choice. It's not like he's like a must-buy character, but he's not a terrible choice either. I'd respect it if you bought him, but it's still quite steep. 600 medals is a bit touch and go with that. I honestly just wouldn't touch these 600 medal characters overall, but if you did buy them, then this is where I'd rank them. As for the 400 medal tier characters, so we have a ton of characters in this tier. This is the most action-packed tier. And then we have a ton of level 1 break characters. That's how Bandai has been filling this out. Quite a few interesting choices here in the 400 medal tier. As you can see, there's 6+ version 1 Cat Viper. A bit interesting that he's in the 400 medal tier category. Obviously, he does have level 1 break, but it's not even that great. But I'll get into him a bit later on. Let's start with Shiki and Doflamingo. These two have excellent level 1 breaks. They both have utility in their captain abilities, of specifically removing 5 Sins of Despair on both of them. So for both of them, if you're running them as captains, you have nice utility. Doflamingo has cooldown in his captain ability if you have him at the limit break expansion. Doflamingo's special is also very good, even with normal attacks only. You obviously don't get his damage dealing buffs, but you still get a 2.5x driven attack boost, which is really nice. And on top of that, you get very good utility, reducing defense up and damage reduction by 6 turns. Very good utility, very good damage, and if the enemy doesn't have normal attacks only, you're gonna basically wave clear them with how much damage he does. And also, as I said before, very good captain. For cooldown, he's just a very good attack multiplier, and also for his utility. So overall, a very good character for Doflamingo. I would say Doflamingo is a very good choice. Honestly, if he's close, if he's at like 1 copy away from level 1 break 3 for the upgraded captain ability, and you already have him expanded, and he just needs that 1 copy to get into a very good captain ability, then honestly, I'd say it's hard to say if he's a must-buy character, because you really don't need him, but he's such a good character to have. So I'd keep him in the decent choice. If there was something in between, yeah, I'd put him there, but he's a very nice character. I'll leave him there. Shiki is similar. He's not as good in my opinion. Shiki is a very finicky character to work with, since he does reduce your HP down to like 1%. So he's very finicky to work with, but he's a very strong unit. Honestly, I'd say he's somewhere around here with Doflamingo. I'd still definitely get Doflamingo over him. Shiki does boost more classes, Doflamingo only boosts driven, Shiki boosts driven and striker. So Shiki does have that one positive over Doflamingo, but overall I prefer Dofi. As for Jack, now this character, even if you don't have him at level 1 break 3 or higher, this character, if you don't have Marco, he's a must buy. If you don't have Marco, if you already have Marco, then I'd say he's a decent choice. Just because even if you already have Marco, he's such a good character otherwise. He's a very good speed farming captain. If you have him at level 1 break 3 and limit break expansion, he's going to be a 5x flat captain, 1.5x HP. He's going to make strength, recovery and tandem counters matching. And he's also going to reduce all of your units cooldowns by 2 turns at the start of the quest. So very fast speed captain. He's basically just any team, just use him as a speed farming captain. He's going to make sure all of your specials are ready. He's going to boost all of your characters. He's a very tanky unit, and he's also going to give you extra XPs. So very good captain overall. Honestly, if you have him at level 1 break 3 and level break expansion, you might even use him some more than Marco, because even if you're not XP farming, he's just nice characters to use. Just because of his speed farming capabilities and because of his very strong kit and the XP farming benefits. So Jack is a very good choice. If you don't have him at all and Marco is not on your account, I'd say he's a must buy. Otherwise, he's still a decent choice. As for Isho, this character is treasure map. Yeah, treasure map. Also, I forgot to mention for Doflamingo, his special is very good in treasure map. So in treasure map, sometimes if you fight the mini bosses in the mid map, then the enemies will have very little HP. Or even late nabs, even if you're fighting the enemies on the boss rush, he's a very good character to use. Because there's very interesting teams where you basically, on the second stage against the weak mobs, you basically use that stage to burst the enemies, and then you have a ton of overkill damage, and you can basically just use Doflamingo to wave clear on the final stage. So when there isn't normal attacks, only Doflamingo is very good to use in treasure map. I forgot to say that about him, but a lot of treasure map grinders like to use him. Especially, I know rank 1 player Among Us era likes to use him on a lot of teams. Very fun characters to use. So yeah, Doflamingo is very nice. Isho as well is a very good substitute in treasure map for legend Kikinojo and Izo, the treasure map legend, because Isho is also going to wave clear and give you a 3-turn 3.5x chain lock. So you can use him on stage 2, you're going to kill the enemies with wave clear, and you're going to carry over a very good chain lock. Exactly the same as Kikinojo and Izo. And also Isho is also going to give you a full board of matching orbs through block. So it has even more benefits than Kikinojo and Izo, since his matching orbs are easy to get. His special animation is a bit slower, but that isn't too much of an issue. He's a very good substitute. Unfortunately, if you don't have him at level 1 break 5, he's pretty mid. His captain ability is nothing to write home about. He's a pretty mid slasher captain, even at level 1 break 3 and limit break expansion. So yeah, he's a mid choice, purely because he's only good at level 1 break 5. Besides that, he's pretty bad, so I'll put him here in a mid choice. If you have him very close to level 1 break 5 and you need a last copy, then I would consider it. Besides that, he's not really worth it. For King and Queen, these two characters go together. They recently become better with the release of that new Legend Jack for the pre-anniversary banner. He works very well with these characters, so they got that small buff, and these characters have been in the 400 middle tier category for a while now, many months, and I can understand why Bandai hasn't moved them down, just because they are 5x attack multiplier captains. Meaning that it's a bit weird to put such a strong captain down in the 250 middle tier category. But these characters, they really aren't necessary in content, but they're very strong, don't get me wrong. They boost 2 classes, very strong classes as well, being Driven and Powerhouse. And Queen is going to give you a 2.5x attack boost, and King is going to give you a 2.5x orb boost, and then in the following turn, Queen will give you a chain boundary, and then King will give you a chain boost. So you can see they mesh very well together. Even alone, they're pretty decent, but they really see their full potential when ran as hybrid captains. Or you can even just run double Queen and then run the other King as a sub. It really doesn't matter, but these two work very well together paired. And I think they should go together in the mid choice because they really aren't necessary in content. They don't have any cooldown in the kit, so very slow, and they don't have really much utility. So overall, they're very nice for damage, and they have very interesting mechanics, but overall they're not an amazing choice, and I think they will eventually go down to 250 medals, especially considering we literally have the new free-to-play Luffy, which is a beginner character, and he's a better attack multiplier than these guys. So since it's a free-to-play character with a 5x attack multiplier, then I don't think these 5x captains will be so amazing anymore, and they might actually go down to 250 medals. So I wouldn't recommend buying them, but it's not a terrible choice. I wouldn't hold it against you. Blackbeard, however, I would hold against you. This character is pretty terrible. The only time this character really sees the light of day is when Super Boss Kizuna was a thing with zombie teams. Then this guy was pretty nice, but besides that, he's like a very interesting character, but he's never used. There might be a weird circumstance where he's used for his like support or his barrier penetration potential ability, like in the recent point event. He's a pretty nice character to just generate a matching orb and also get through enemy's barrier. And also we also use him for his support effect. But besides that, his kit is pretty bad. He really doesn't give much. Very interesting character, but definitely not worth 400 medals. Zoro, another very good unit. This character is a decent choice for 400 medals. He's a very good unit to run on speed farming teams. He's going to wave clear and give 2 turns of cooldown to all the units. He's also a very fast activation for his special. So overall, just a very nice unit to run on any team. He also has a potential ability that reduces his cooldown at the start of the quest, so you don't have to worry about cooldown when running him. Overall, just a very nice character to slap on any team for wave clear. Also, he's a pretty decent captain ability in certain circumstances, since he's going to get around special bind innately with his captain ability. A pretty good dex captain to run, but besides that, he's very weak if you're running him as a captain. Mostly he's ran for his special that's going to wave clear and give cooldown, but besides that, he's not used too much. But overall, just for that usage of wave clear, I do use him a lot, and I do think he's worth buying. Also, the Morgan Grand Voyage basically requires him in most teams, so I do recommend buying him. Then we have Komurasaki, so yeah, we have more level lump breaks. Komurasaki is an interesting character. So Komurasaki, she is going to give you a turn of, she's going to give you no cooldown, I forgot to say. So she doesn't give any cooldown. She's still going to boost quick and in characters after a level lump break. Very solid captain ability, but nothing too crazy. Her special though is very good. So she's going to generate all of your orbs into either quick or int. Before she does that, however, she's going to change any existing int orbs on your crew into Wano. So interesting, we have another unit that's going to change orbs into Wano, which is pretty nice. It's kind of weird because there's not an easy way to get those int orbs when you're running her as your captain. She's also going to give you a 2.5x attack boost for your quick and int units, and then a 2.25x color affinity boost for your quick and int units. So a lot of offensive buffs, and in addition to that, she's also going to reduce barriers by a turn, which, if you didn't know, is a very uncommon effect that a lot of units need on their kit. Barriers is a recurring debuff that a lot of enemies we have to deal with. So it's nice that a unit just has that plopped on, and also having her damage makes it very worth running her. And also, if you have int orbs, then you get Wano orbs. So a very good unit for offensively and also for that teeny bit of utility. Besides level 1 break 5, she's really not required. And even if you do have a level 1 break 5, that special is nice, but it's nothing to write home about. There's definitely other replacements, and she's really just not required. So I wouldn't recommend it. It's a pretty meh choice in my opinion. Speaking of which, Sugar and Sabo, these two have debuted in Pirate Rumble seasons as free characters. We could get 2 free copies of them on their respective seasons, so you really should have these characters by now. But if you don't, Sugar is a very good character, but I don't recommend it. Her level 1 break buffs are pretty mediocre. The only thing that's really noticeable is that she gets an attack boost in a special at level 1 break 5. Beyond that, there's really nothing crazy in her kit beyond level 1 break 3 or higher. But overall, she's a pretty decent character in a super evolution form. I just don't recommend buying her. She's nothing crazy. You don't need her in content. Same goes for Sabo. Sabo's a very fun character. So is Sugar, but both of them are just kind of meh. Sabo really doesn't get many improvements with his level 1 break, so you don't need to worry about that at all. Final character in the 400 medal tier, please bear with me. So Cat Viper. This character is a pretty meh super evolution. I forgot what I know what he does in his special, but I know he gives a 6 turns of bind and attack down removal, which is very good. It's 6 turns utility, which is always nice to have on a kit. Besides that, his captain ability is pretty meh. It's nothing crazy. He doesn't give any cooldown, and also he weirdly enough doesn't boost side characters, even though he's a side unit himself. He boosts strength though, and also striker characters. He's a very interesting character in the way that he's built, but nothing amazing. He also gives a bunch of beneficial orbs to your characters, being strength, dex, quick, psi, and int in his special, so he's going to make those count as matching for a turn. But unfortunately, the only thing about that utility is that he's not going to make recovery or tandem count as matching, so it's not a full board of matching orbs guaranteed. So here in his captain ability, if your HP is below 30% at the start of the turn, he's going to add 0.3 to the chain multiplier, so he is a chain boosting captain similarly to Yamato. Unfortunately, you do need to be at that low HP, so he's not that crazy. Overall, just a average captain ability, nothing too crazy. And then for his special, I forgot to mention, but he also is going to give you a 1.5x chain multiplier boost. So that's a very unique chain boost mechanic, and not a lot of characters have this. Most characters just give you a chain additive boost. This is chain multiplicative boost. So very nice boost for your chain, and also very nice utility. The single target damage is annoying since it doesn't allow you to wave clear. And then he's also going to give those beneficial orbs, as I said before. So nothing too crazy, but he's still pretty decent. As a special, he's not too bad, but besides that, he's nothing too crazy. Once again, a character that you need to have at level 1 break 5 to be actually usable. If you don't have him at level 1 break 5, he's a trash character, I'm just going to say it. So I just wouldn't do it, in my opinion. If you have him one away from level 1 break 5, it's not a terrible choice. I still wouldn't do it, if I'm being honest. Then we have the 250 middle tier category characters. So this video is running a bit long, 16 minutes, so I'm just gonna go through these very fast. So basically, Sober Mask, I think he'll be getting a super evolution as well as a level 0 break soon in a Pirate Rumble season. This character would have a very popular super evolution. A lot of people have been speculating this character should get a super evolution, or Luffy and Zoro. One of these characters I think will, or even Kaido here. I think all these 6 characters here that I still need to rank, they could be getting super evolutions. Just because we're getting so many dual unit super evolutions, I think one of these 4 characters could be getting an upgrade soon. I think either Big Mom or Zoro and Luffy will get it. Whitebeard and Marco and Luffy and Ace could also be. It really does. It could be any one of these characters. If Kaido does get a level 1 break, he'll probably get the same treatment as version 2 Doflamingo here. Where if you have normal attacks only, then you get a bunch of other buffs. But overall, that's all speculation. Let's talk about what they have right now. Sober Mask is very meh. I wouldn't buy it. He's gonna change all of your orbs into matching through block, which is nice. But he gives only a 2x attack boost to all of your characters, and you have to activate a bunch of other specials in the same turn if you want to get his stronger attack multiplier. And he has 0 utility, so very meh. He's not worth running on your crew just for that attack multiplier and also the orbs. He has no utility. He has pretty decent support, so actually it's not a terrible choice. Just a meh option. He's nothing too crazy. Luffy and Zoro are terrible. They really do need an upgrade. Kaido, don't do it. But honestly, he's not a terrible choice. He's definitely usable in certain circumstances. There are certain quests nowadays that sometimes don't have normal attacks only, in which this character really does shine. He also has a -2 cooldown in his captain, meaning he's not terrible to run just for his cooldown as well, and being a very good speed farming captain. Then Big Mom, this character has very good offensive capabilities, giving you a 3.5 exchange lock and a base attack boost. Also a pretty decent swap effect if you want to just clear a weak mini boss. She has a nice self-reliant swap effect, but overall a pretty meh character. The rest of these guys are terrible choices. Where did he go? Okay, there we go. They're Whitebeard and Marco and Luffy and Ace. Both are very terrible characters in today's meta. All 3 of these characters in the 150 middle tier are pretty bad, and you shouldn't be using them in any content nowadays since they are pretty terrible. But we'll have to see how this unfolds in the next few months. See what characters get level 0 breaks, and see who gets very good upgrades. But as it stands right now, this is how I would rank things. I don't think any of these characters are urgent must-buy characters. I mean, you could argue Jack, as I said before, if you don't have Marco, then he is a must-buy character. Besides that, really nothing else. Yeah, this is how it stands. I don't think anything should change here. That's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions about this ranking, ask them down below. This is quite a long video, And if you have any questions, yeah, just ask them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.